Hello and welcome to My Digital Finance, the place you can keep updated on all cryptocurrency news. Today I'm going to be taking you through what a fork is and how you can be using it to your advantage in terms of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin fork strategies, what you can be doing in the market to be making more money when these things do come up. So what we will cover today is obviously, like I said, what is a fork? So I'll be talking to you about the different types of forks, both soft and hard. What happens when a coin actually forks, talking to you through the process so that you've got a firmer understanding. How does a fork impact you? So what you should be concerned about and how you can benefit from this in terms of making some profit. Alternative coins as well. I'll be talking to you about a new strategy in terms of maybe if investing in the alternative coins rather than investing in the fork itself is maybe a better option for you, dependent on the amount of money you're looking to invest with and the stage of the cryptocurrency market at that particular point you're looking to invest. Guys, if you are a beginner in the market, we have got our free ebook, which will be in the description below, The Beginner's Guide to Bitcoin. This is a fantastic ebook for anyone that's starting out. It's probably about 50-page long. Gives you a real firm understanding of what you're going to be investing into, not just Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency market as a whole. So please do download. That will be below. Now, let's get into this YouTube vid. So what is a Bitcoin fork, or what is a fork in general? It's not just Bitcoin. We've obviously seen Ethereum Classic, which is formed out of Ethereum as well, and loads of those of other coins. So what's actually happening in that process? So in August, I think we had Bitcoin Cash, which forked out of Bitcoin. In October or end of July, that was really. We also had in October Bitcoin Gold, and then in November, end of October, was meant to be SegWit 2x, which didn't take place. I think that's been pushed back to next year now. So what's actually happening, in this process? So as you know, Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies are all operating on a blockchain technology. Now, the blockchains are just cryptographic keys. They can be thought of as cryptographic keys that move memory. So these are the blocks in the chain that are just moving memory across. So you'll know, or you'll see in these forks, what it will say is that this particular fork is due to take place at a particular block in the chain. So I guess the rules by which the memory is moved is actually determined by the miners themselves. So when rules want to be changed, or you want to make improvements to the network, therefore it's going to need to go through what's called a fork. So therefore, we only need a majority of the miners to actually agree about the new rules about what is a valid block in the chain. So if you can imagine 100 people you're walking with, and they get to a crossroads, and you've got your map, you want to get to a certain destination. Well, some of you might decide to go this way and believe that's a better way to go. And some of you might believe that this way is a better go to get to your destination. And that's all that's really happening amongst the mining, congregation of that particular coin. So a soft fork, it means that no new coin is actually going to be created when you go through the fork. Whereas a hard fork, a new coin or a new currency is created, as we've seen with Bitcoin Gold, Ethereum Classic, etc. So what this is due to is that a minority of miners decide that different rules should apply to a valid transaction. So these old rules apply to the Bitcoin, and these new rules is the minority of miners that say, actually, we believe that new rules should be applied. And this is now Bitcoin Classic, or your Bitcoin Gold, or what would have been SegWit 2x and what is Ethereum Classic. So this means that now you've got two separate coins with different miners. And this means that, for example, let's use Bitcoin Cash actually for an example. So they actually decided that the blocks should be a lot bigger than what they were, and that every single miner should actually be moving bigger blocks of memory. So Bitcoin actually moves around 1 megabyte per block, whereas Bitcoin Cash moves about 8 megabytes. I mean, it was actually in the original plan of Satoshi Nakamoto, to be moving bigger blocks, and that was in the original plan of Bitcoin in the white paper anyway. But Bitcoin Cash miners have decided, it should be happening a lot sooner. So that's really a description of what a fork is. In the simplest terms, it's really just literally is that some of the miners, or the majority of miners, are going to follow the old rules, and some of the miners, a minority, are going to follow the new rules, and it's going to create a new coin. The bit I want to really get into for you is, how does that benefit you? What does that actually mean for you as a layman in the market? How can you benefit? And this is really it. the amount of Bitcoin that you're holding at that particular time of the fork, you are given the equivalent in that new coin. So if you're holding, let's say, 3 Bitcoin, in the market at that particular moment, at that precise moment that it forks, you're going to be given 3 Bitcoin cash, 3 Bitcoin gold. Why is that significant? It's because it's effectively, that's free money, right? That's free money. And we can take a look at this on the chart. So imagine that number we've just said. So if we go into, let's go straight into Bitcoin Cash. This came out, I think it was end of July. Yes, it was end of July. So imagine you had $10,000 worth of Bitcoin stored up, and you're given, and maybe at that precise moment, say you've got 5 Bitcoins or 3 Bitcoins, we said before, and you're given the equivalent of 3 Bitcoin cash. That's $555. So you're given a free amount of $1,500 just for having that particular coin. Really, really beneficial. And that came out at the end of July. Bitcoin Gold, exactly the same. Similar amount, $479. Imagine the same 3. That's nearly around $1,300 you're giving for free. But the bit I want to get into now is the price of Bitcoin at these particular times, because that's really going to determine whether you should be putting a lot of your money, in Bitcoin in that precise moment, or if other strategies might suit you better. So I think end of July was around the 23rd of July when it was Bitcoin Cash. So we can see July 23rd, Bitcoin was around $2,735. So let's imagine we had $10,000 we were investing at that moment, and you can see really the rise that people were just plunging money into Bitcoin from the start, really around July 17th, getting ready for the fork on July 23rd, expecting it, because they wanted that free cash. So July 23rd comes, it's around $2,800, $2,700. If I've got £10,000, that means that I'm probably getting just under 4 Bitcoin, correct? I've got 4 Bitcoin I'm holding, because 2,500 would be exactly 4. So it's about 3.75 or something like that. That's very good, because that means that at the moment of inception, when this gets released to the market, I've got around nearly 4 Bitcoins worth. That's nearly $2,000 free cash. That's awesome, But let's now imagine, let's look at Bitcoin Gold. Now, this comes out a bit later. This is where it's significant. This is October 23rd now. And it's $479, so it's almost exactly the same price, It's only a little bit less than what Bitcoin Cash came out of. But October 23rd now, the price is really, really increased in Bitcoin. And you can see this massive rise again. People are plunging money in, getting ready for this fork. FOMO, fear of missing out. The price of Bitcoin now is around 5,900. Now, if I'm plunging my $10,000 into this now, I'm only really getting around 1.8, 1.9, almost 2 Bitcoin worth now. Is that really significant? Now I'm only earning around $800 rather than, the 1,500 I was earning before. And it takes a steady dive, beforehand. And you're almost losing out on your money now, or definitely going to be losing out on that investment unless you sold straight away. So, and you're in a position where you've now got to hold and waiting for this, to increase. And I don't think it's actually reached the height ever before that it was at. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't yet. It hasn't reached that height, whereas it hasn't reached the height of inception where it came out at. So you are definitely going to be, at a slight loss if you did hold on to a little bit of it. So what's the best strategy for you to be using in that particular moment? And this is what I really wanted to get into, because another strategy we could use at that moment in time is actually altcoins. As I've described in, some of my other YouTube videos, especially about how to buy off an exchange, you should go and watch that, is that everything happens in currency pairs. The reason that you see a rise, in Bitcoin at these moments, approaching these forks, means that that means that in the market they're selling off another currency. So when you take part in the foreign exchange, if you're going holiday to the US, that means that you're actually selling the pound sterling and buying the US dollar. So what's happening at this moment in time when people are buying Bitcoin, it means that they're selling altcoins. They're putting a lot of their money in Bitcoin because they want the free cash, but it means that they're selling off a lot of their altcoins to do that in the process. So another strategy that you could be using is actually to leave your money in altcoins completely. Now, why do I say that? This is the reason. So this is a list, again, this is CoinMarketCap. This is a list of all the cryptocurrencies out in the market at the moment. So Alternative coin just means alternative to Bitcoin. So as we can see, Ethereum, any of these coins, we can look at the activity of these coins, approaching that particular date. So if I click on Neo, which is probably my favorite coin at the moment, as you guys know, I've been saying this a lot. I really, really believe in Neo, especially as the recent news which is coming out around China. If they're going to be uplifting their ICO ban, this could mean that this coin really goes to around $150, and it's sitting at around 36 at the moment. So that's free money for you. But let's just take a look at what it was doing, around October 23rd. So let's just zoom in. And October 23rd, bingo, right on it. It was around, I think it was around 26.80, but I can zoom in a bit further for you there. And let's really delve in, because this is what these are the strategies you need to start using in your market. I mean, October 23rd, I know it was just a bit lower than that because I bought it actually. It was around $26.80. So let's zoom in a little bit further. But these are some strategies that we want to be using. Is it better for me to be investing in, I don't know, in that fork? Is it fear of missing out? Am I just investing for the sake of it? Or am I really, really going to be betting from it? So yeah, it was around $26.80, I believe. $26.43 at the lowest, but I bought in around $26.80. And then on the same day, you can see it rises. And it actually rises, I believe, to around $32, I believe, around that, $32.50. So why is that significant? Why is that rise significant? Why is that rise all happening in that same particular day? And what I want to be taking you through is that $10,000 actually more beneficial to you, in alternative coins or in that Bitcoin fork? So let's look at this. If I bought in the day opening price on October 23rd at $26.80, the amount of Neo I would have had with that $10,000 is $373. Now, in the same day it rises because of that Bitcoin fork. As I said, when you're buying into Bitcoin, you're selling off your alt. So what happens when Bitcoin rises, and people get their fork money, is that they sell off their Bitcoin because they want to cash in their profits. And which means if they're selling off Bitcoin, they're buying back into alt. So people want to rebuy their positions back in Neo and other alternative coins in the exact same day. $26.80, which we saw on the chart, is where I bought in at, and we sold at $32.50 on the same day. What does that mean? With that $10,000 that I would have invested in the same day, I would have actually made it. It would have been a total of $11,996, but it would have been a profit of $1,996. Now that's much more significant than the $800 I would have been earning, if I'd gone through the Bitcoin Gold fork. Very, very, very significant. So that is all down to the price of Bitcoin at that particular site. So what I am saying is that Bitcoin forks or crypto forks in general are very beneficial if you're actually holding that particular coin, over a period of time. If you've had 5 Bitcoins that you're holding from January and then this fork comes along in October, very good. But if you're actually buying that coin for the sake of the fork, you really need to delve into, is it going to be worth, the investment? Am I really going to be earning a significant amount of money? And that's really, really what I wanted to say today. Now, what does this all play out into? All of these forks actually strengthen Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies in the future, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. The reason for this is very similar to gold. Gold survived the end of the gold standard. It also survived the rise of paper money. So it's the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's fighting off all of these new coins which are coming out. Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, Segwit 2X, that are all saying they're the real Bitcoin. And as it fights it off, it's actually fulfilling the quality of being a store of value in the market. So Bitcoin forks in general actually strengthen Bitcoin in the long run. But I just wanted to show this video just to give you a bit of strategy behind what you're doing, and actually to delve deeper into, don't just FOMO, don't just think, I'm going to miss out and buy into it. Actually delve deeper into the numbers and see, is it going to be beneficial for my portfolio? Guys, if you like this video, if it was beneficial, if it was helpful, please like and subscribe in the link below. As I said, the free ebook is also below in the subscription. Keep up to date with all the cryptocurrency news on our social media. That is on YouTube, Instagram and Telegram at My Digital Finance, on Facebook at My Digital Finance Today, and Telegram at Digital Finance 3. for all the news. Guys, I'll see you on the next video. Speak soon.